those who are feeling this at the physical, mental, cellular level in the form of what we perceive as illness, sickness, or disease. We lift them up into our higher atmosphere of our consciousness and see them as whole as they were created to be. We ask for guidance and leadership as they navigate through this path of mental cellular change. As things begin to reorder themselves and repattern and rethink their intelligence, even into the atoms and cells of our body, we are one. And good morning to everyone. Welcome to our Wednesday morning class here at HeartLight Spiritual Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. For you that are not in town or in state, we want to welcome you as we continue on talking about building a new physical body. You know, the scripture says that every man must build. That's a scripture. Every man and woman must build. We're all builders. You know, and if you think of your thoughts, your ideas, your beliefs being like stones to your building, right? So you start building with your thoughts. And you build and you build and you build what is called a human consciousness, are made out of all. See this behind me? These are all individual stones that have been put together. Now, if you just put all these stones together, they're going to fall over. But if you put the mortar, and what is the mortar? Love. Love is the thing that holds it all together. So as you build on love and build your building on love, when the storm of life comes, it will not fall under the pressure. If you don't and build it on the sifting, sinking sand of temporal human consciousness, and when I'm using this term, I'm talking about what culture has taught us, what religion has taught us, etc. If you build on that, and it's built upon separation and fear, and I'm not you and you're not me, when the slight wind or storm comes, it collapses, and you are emotionally unconscious at that moment. I want you to get that. At that moment, you become totally unconscious. And when you become unconscious, all the recordings take over in your subconscious, and you become reactive. And you start saying things you wish you had not said. You begin to do things you wish you had not done. If you had been conscious and thought about it, you would have made a different choice. But that is building. And that's what that whole parable is, that every man, woman must build. You'll either build on the solid rock or the sifting sand. So most of us here has been into this decades. New thought teaching, positive thinking, ancient wisdom, metaphysical teachings, now quantum, all of that has become new stones, new bricks that we've started placing and putting together. And what is the mortar that holds it? Love. Not human conditional love. That won't work. You got to use agape love. You got to use unconditional, sacred, divine love. Because the storm is a-coming. And the storm is actually here. I feel the winds of the storm that is coming our way. And who shall stand? Do you hear Spirit saying that to you today? And who of you shall stand and become like a tree planted by living waters that will not be uprooted? And that's what these classes are about. This is what HeartLight is about. This is what the whole ministry here is about, is to help us to be steadfast and ground and rooted. Now, I know we can talk about all this high stuff, But let's not forget the root of the tree of life. If we're all up here in the branches all the time with the birds and neglecting the watering of the roots, you're going to need the grounding and anchoring of the roots that's gone deep into your ground, into your earth, into your humanity, is what's going to hold you when that wind comes and that storm comes. I love the tree as an analogy and a metaphor. And in the scripture, it calls us trees. I sing a little song that says, we're trees of the Lord, planted by living water. Our leaves shall not wither, and our roots grow down deep, and we shall bear fruit. I love that song. We need to do that. Maybe I'll do that someday. I don't know. It says, oh, trees shall clap their hands. It even says in the Old Testament. We are trees. But are we rooted for what is coming as this Piscean age is further and further and further weakening its hold as it gives way to the new stability of the Aquarian age that is coming in stronger and stronger. And in the midst of those two things coming together, there is great chaos. There is great confusion. What a great word. I love the word confusion on a spiritual plane. Now there's the human confusion thing I don't like. But on the spirit level, con means with. Fusion means putting something together. So when you leave one norm and you haven't quite stabilized the new norm, you're in a state of confusing yourself. And maybe you feel that way in your head sometimes, like, I just really get confused about all this stuff. There's so much to remember, and I don't know what I believe anymore. And where's God? And do I believe in God? Should I use the word God? And blah, 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 blah. And on it goes. But I'm here to tell you, this is a prophecy. There will be times, and coming soon, that you'll become so clear and stable in the new norm that the old will seem like a dream. Just as right now, because we so have lived in 3D, we've dreamed of a better age. We've dreamed of a time in which we were above sickness and disease. That's been the dream. But I'm telling you, the dream is going to be this reality you're living right now today, and the reality is going to be the dream that you had. And you're going to look back at this time of death and sickness and disease and war and all that, and you're going to think, wow, did I dream that last night? Or was it real, or did I have a dream? So what I'm saying to you, let's get through this shift. This shift is huge, and it's intensifying the more the new world, the new age, whatever you want to call it, feeds it energy, the stronger and intensified the fulfilling of 3D is becoming in your life. Everything should be getting worse, not better. Oh, that's not good news. It's because you want to jump from Egypt all into the land of the milk and honey. But nobody wants to go through the 40 years between, in that analogy. So, saying that, for what it's worth, is telling you, let's get grounded, let's get rooted, and let's become trees of life with our branches waving in the winds of change. I love it. Where I live, there's a lot of trees, and I love just watching out my office window, and the wind comes, and those branches just give away to it, and they just, if they don't, they get snapped off. If some branch says, I ain't going with the wind, I like where I am and who I am, the wind will snap it right off the tree. It'll be laying down on the ground while the others moved with the change of the wind. So finding your rhythm of what change is. You've got to take all these words we use like transition, transformation, metamorphosis, all these. You've got to take those words and retranslate them into frequencies of consciousness. If you don't bring those things into a vibration, it's not going to change any patterns of the old to the new. If you think you're going to get there just through mental knowledge, I mean, if we could be honest with ourselves this morning and just think, okay, I've been doing this 30 years, 40 years, however long it is. Now, I got to be honest, I don't know if I've moved quite as far as I thought I'd be now. I didn't know I was going to be dealing with this at this age. Man, I've been meditating, I've gone to workshops, I've been Course in Miracles, I've been studied Fillmore, and I've studied this and I studied that, and I'm just not as far along as I really thought I'd be at this time. Because the mental will not do it. It is fine, but it's not the destiny. The mental is only the tool. And we've read that in here. He beautifully says the only way we're really going to change our belief system to a frequency, to change cellular development, is by reading and studying things and not judging it right or wrong, but holding it and see if it resonates with us. Then we qualify it into the belief system. Now, this is the crux of this whole course. If you don't get anything else, keep reading the books that come into your life. I recently just had a lot of books come into my life over my birthday. And I look at them every day and I go, oh my God, I wish I just had all day to sit and read these books. And I'll pick them up. I'll pick up a book. No. Ooh, wait a minute. I don't know what that means, but wait a minute, it caught my attention. My brain's going, we don't even know what that means. I've checked everything in your memory bank, and I don't find where you ever learned that. So therefore, I reject it. Pushes the rejection button. Or I read it, my brain says, well, I don't really understand it, but my inner spiritual self says, something there. Hold it. Hold it. Mark it. This is why I need books. I'm sorry, I need books. I got to mark things. I got to have colored, what do you call them? Highlighters all the time. I mean, look at all these highlights I've got in here. I don't understand all these things I got highlighted, but when I get up here and start talking about it, sometimes I get it. And when I get it, when I didn't get it here, but I got it here, it has my what? I am code, my unique pattern of the I am that I am, and I've been given my new name. Can anybody tell me what the new name is? I've taught you this week after week. I am. Yeah. You knew that, didn't you?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we were just holding out.
I see.
We wanted to see if you remembered.
Good try. Good try. So your I am code is how karma finds you. This is how everyththing that you act upon becomes a reaction to you, is because it finds you because of the unique patterns in which sound and vibration has a pattern that's only uniquely your individual self. Not your individualized self, but your individual self. This is Christie's. This is Karen's, Terry. I'm not talking about the spiritual self now. I'm talking about the human, that which is that is the container for the incarnation of your human story, is what has to have its unique energetic sound, vibration, light pattern. And that's the three things that come together and form this geometric pattern that is only yours. And I know your ego mind says, well, I'd like to know what that was. Isn't that what you all are doing? I wonder what that is. Best not to know. Don't give it to the ego. If you give it what it is, if you could right now know exactly what that pattern looked like, the ego would say, good, I got it now. So some things have to stay in the mystery side of God or universe. Some things need to be a mystery. It's not that Creator's being mysterious, it's just being kept from the ego to not understand it, so it doesn't insert its agenda into it. How many is with me? Any questions about that? You want to ask anything? And it says you've got to get a new name. That's in the Bible. It says, and they shall receive a new name. It says two things about the 144,000. Two things that's important. One, they shall be given a song that no man can learn. Your song is your pattern that I'm talking about that no man can learn. And I shall be given them a new name. And the new name is the universal name of I am. Wow. So again, we have to keep studying and reading and doing what we're doing together here. And I recently got a wonderful, probably listen to me, thank you for your email or text or wherever it was, that really enjoys the class, supports the class. And I'm saying this because thank you for doing it. But it says sometimes I don't understand the words you're using and whatever. I just wish at the end you would kind of summarize it into something more simplified and whatever. I realize that, but it's not important that you understand everything that I'm saying in this class immediately at the time of the class. That's why it's important for you to do some self-study. How much are you doing during the week? Now, most of you guys here don't have 9-to-5 jobs. There's always an exception. But most of you have the time. You're retired, you have time. And I'm wondering, how much of your time are you dedicating for your self-study? Or is it just, well, it's almost Wednesday. Oh, well, I don't know where the week went, but it's Sunday. And all that time was spent in riotous living. That's a pig-pen word. The prodigal son spent it all in riotous living. I'm not sure what that means. But I think it was just a reactionary, foolish stuff that didn't mean anything, but at the time.
Probably drinking alcohol.
Yes, that's one. Can be. Well, it could be a lot of things. It could be watching TV. I mean, there's nothing wrong with any of this stuff in moderation, but yes, if you're into your time of giving yourself self-study and self-time, yes, you need to look at your priorities and change them and seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these other things shall be added unto you. And that's for all of us to really do and check with. Okay. In your small book, we are on page 49. In the big book, which I'm going to be probably using, 104, building a new body. Now, we didn't finish the see where I'm trying to see where we kind of left off, because I'd like to pick up there if we could. We were kind of in the second paragraph on page 49 in your supplement.
Right.
And we was talking about the wheel of energy, the wheel of energy that can be used to change, correct, or dissolve any condition or situation in our life. Now, this is an exercise that you need to learn so you can use it. The 4 energy points involve willingness, responsibility, acceptance, and release. Now, I do want to say there's been somewhat of an update on the word release. It's hard not to use certain words. Like Sunday, I just felt that song, I release and I let go. Okay. What I really want to use there would not fit into the song, so I just use release. But someone in one of our workshops several years ago really challenged me and says, but why would I want to release anything? And I thought, re means again. So if I'm trying to get out of a lease on my car, but I want to get a new car, why would I go release the same lease I just had? So the proper word probably would be let go. I choose to let go, but not release it.
Your Sunday service. Let go.
Let go, that's right. So that's a much better term to use when you can, is I choose in this moment to let go, but I'm not going to release it again, because you just keep going back doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. So I know this is finite teaching here, but get ready. This is fine-tuning time. We're getting ready to have our language totally retuned. And it needs to be. So the statement has been made throughout the course that problems are golden opportunities. Take that in. And we want to update the word problems. I don't like the word problems. It doesn't fit my level of consciousness anymore. So let's change it to opportunities. See, we've done 2 updates of 2 words that now will fit a higher state of consciousness that we've entered into. So my challenges are golden opportunities for us to put into practice, here we are, to put into practice what we know. Good word, practice. So you want to learn to play the piano, but you don't want to practice. Most people who are good at what they do was willing to commit the time to practice it. There's even a spiritual adage that's very popular in New Thought: practice the presence of God. Are you practicing between Sunday and Sunday? Are you practicing some of the spiritual things that are given to us? Everything on Sunday that is given to us here is something we can use for that week that could absolutely begin to turn our life to a different direction. But if we don't practice it, I just like that David's got it. David can get up there and speak that stuff. I just enjoy watching him and listening to him to do it and whatever. No, 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 no. You that have a companion, for instance. Now, companion can be your significant other. It can be a best friend, a good friend, or whatever. But people that are kind of in your level of same-mindedness. Practice with each other. Are you doing a lot of BSing. I don't know what else to say there, but sometimes it's just when you have an opportunity, you can practice the presence, practice what you're learning, share with each other. And that's where the real growth is going to be, is not on the Sunday, but it's taking what's on the Sunday that you got as an opportunity to practice what we know. The accident, disease, and social habit are whatever the challenge, not problem, might be. It is only, I like this, only the vehicle for the materialization. So in other words, knowledge to manifestation does not work without practice in between. If you think I got where I am, and I'm not sure where that is, to be honest with you, that I have not practiced this for 60 years. Yes, I've been given some kind of nice little gift here of whatever I do, but at the same time, I have done it. I have practiced it. I have been willing to put myself in situations where I could, and have fallen flat on my face. Many times. Took a chance. But I just kept practicing. Just kept practicing. Be aware of the condition or situation for the golden opportunity. Being aware of the condition or situation is the golden opportunity. That's a powerful sentence. Being aware, aware. Aware is the beginning. It is the beginning path to enlightenment. You cannot become enlightened about something you're not aware of. Does that make sense to you? And that's what we've tried to do here about, stepping beyond that boundary that I told you is challenging, about no death, and death is the last enemy to put under, and we can end up with bodies of light, that where no disease or sickness can be there. I understand that. I understand that's a tough one when everything is going south, so to speak, and we're up here talking about these new bodies and bodies of light and so on and so forth. But we are bringing awareness to you. Be aware that that is an option. It is one of the dimensions of this multidimensional Christ consciousness that we talk about, in which there is a, room in the mansion that you can live in where death cannot enter in. Are we there? I don't think so, but I'm aware of it. And I'm going to keep being aware of it. And I'm going to keep reminding myself. And I'm going to keep reading things like this. And I'm going to keep teaching things like this. Even to the point of being challenged. Can you prove this? This is the old left brain, Western, Newtonian science mind. If you can't prove it, if you can't see it, if you can't touch it, if you can't smell it, it does not exist. And you should not validate it. That's old science. I'm so glad for the new science. That's the old physics. I'm glad for the new physics. Because it's totally different than the old idea of science. The one that really most people in religion has rejected for 2,000 years or more. But now embracing through quantum physics. Because it's so... listen, quantum physics is such a step toward materialization than the old physics and science was. It's a step in the right direction. For instance, I've never seen my more subtle self meaning my molecular self. I've never seen all my electrons. I've seen my protons and my electrons. You know, probably if I had an electron microscope, I could see some of these things, but I just never have. But I don't doubt that I don't have them. I totally believe in this more subtle world that my five senses can't see. And do you understand? That is the materialization of mysterious spirituality is lost. A lot of the mystery, now we have science. Isn't that great? It doesn't have to be religion who says, oh, just believe it, because that's what we teach, or believe it because it's in the Bible. We are now in a place in which we are entering a state of awareness in which we are beginning to be aware of things that we have not yet seen. Are you getting me? I'm aware of a lot of stuff that I'm not seeing, but I know it's on its way because awareness has begun. And I teach here from the level of awareness. Be aware. We must bring the awareness to the golden opportunity. We must bring awareness to the moment. Oh, remember that? What a great word. I love this word, moment. In the moment, in the moment. Now, it's not just talking about, again, things are more than one level. The moment does mean in the present moment. But if any of you can remember, I've given you the Greek word translated moment, in that we shall not all sleep, but we shall be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye. Anybody tell me what that word moment in English was translated from?
Epiphany?
That's an experience.
Awareness?
I'm asking for the literal. What word in the Greek was made into the English that is translated moment?
Choice point.
Sorry?
Choice point.
Those are all good. I love all that stuff. Okay, here we go. Let's get it this time. So when I ask this in the next week or two, somebody's actually got it.
Okay.
Tell us what it is.
It is the word atomos, A-T-M-O-S. Write it down, atomos. It is a Greek word. I went to the Greek Orthodox Church to check on this, to make sure I was right, that the Greek word atomos becomes the English word atom, or atoms. So we shall be changed in the atoms of our body. Had nothing to do with time and space. Like a moment, in this moment. Here's another moment. Next moment. This moment. I'm not talking about that moment in time. I'm talking about, and we shall not all sleep in the illusion of materialism that we are totally a physical body, but we shall be changed. Anybody tell me what the word changed came from in the Greek? I've taught these things many, many, many times in 4 years.
It sounds great.
How about mortif? Yes, but these words are words we get in English. How are you going to understand the English word if you don't understand where they come from? English doesn't come from English. Most English words come from German and Greek and Spanish and all kinds of languages. So we don't know what we're talking about most of the time. That's sad. And even when we have a real hold on the English language and we can use a lot of words, we don't even know what we're saying. The word is metamorpho. How about that? Which is the word we get metamorphose. So we shall be metamorphosed all the way to the atoms of our body. What a different meaning than just reading that out of the literalism of the body, that we shall be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye. You know what my church believed that was? The rapture of the church. All of a sudden, people just disappear because Jesus just raised them up into the sky to meet him in the air. Now, that's a long journey from that to you shall be metamorphosed. Now, you think you get those? Let's go through them again. What is the word moment translated from? New Testament is from Greek. No. Moment.
Oh, okay. What?
Atomos.
Atomos?
Could you spell that?
A-T-O-M-O-S. Atomos, just like it is.
I didn't look it up on my phone and it said something about indivisible.
Well, yeah, because the atom is indivisible to us at this time, but it comes from the word. You have to look in the Greek, not the English. So I would say look into Strong's Concordance and look up the word moment. Atomos. Atom. And the word changed is metamorpho. And that gives a whole different meaning from change versus metamorphosed. Again, I say, and I will keep saying it, the caterpillar is not changed to an enlightened caterpillar. And that's where I think a lot of maybe metaphysical New Age groups have, they've been brought to a wonderful place, but, and it's not, I shouldn't just pick on that, but most everything finds that what they want to do is they want to change what they had. They want to change what they are. They want to change the past. And they don't want to bring in what's trying to break through that has yet never been.
So in your analogy of the caterpillar changing into the butterfly, the question that I have, and I'm making an assumption here, is that once this change has occurred, the DNA is completely different from the caterpillar to the butterfly. And so in that metamorphosis, if we extrapolate that back to us, that's what we're anticipating at a cellular level. Okay.
That's correct. And that's why you're feeling it at a cellular level. This is a good thing. Wow, this talk is sounds so crazy. It's a good thing that you feel bad. Now, I'll try to, I wish I had better news for you, but somebody's going to tell you the truth. What is happening is this thing is saying, I'm so close now. I've entered into your etheric part of your physiology, which is so close to your body that the body is trying to retune and revibrate to a new blueprint. So now you've got, and then we go to doctors and we get a diagnosis. Now you got arthritis. Now you got diabetes. Now you got cancer. These are all 3D diagnoses that are given to us, which we revert back to and realize that the seed of believing that becomes what starts manifesting in us is the diagnosis that we've been given. And then we start coming and asking for healing. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Trouble's around the corner. Then we want healing. And I'm sorry, but the source of the healing is not in the prayer or the people doing the prayer. It is in our taking back our power over what we now believe we have, that we are manifesting and materializing in ourselves. Now, this is not easy stuff. It's not easy for me to talk about this. I got my stuff too here that I'm not happy about, that I wish I didn't have. And everything in my mental ego mind says, you shouldn't have. You've been teaching this. You don't deserve this. But let me tell you, if I was manifesting all the things I taught, you couldn't even touch the hem of my garment. I'd be so far away from you guys. I'd be up on some pedestal, some throne somewhere. I have to walk this out just like you do. This is not any longer an individual thing that happened. It's a planetary thing that is happening. But we're feeling it first. Now, somebody help me here. We're getting it first because you've prepared yourself for this first. Most of your family hasn't. Most of your friends haven't. They don't know what's going on. But we should. And that's what I'm trying. I feel that's what's happening here today is we've got to get into the right state of consciousness and mind to see what's going on and be aware of it from a spiritual point of view and not from a third dimensional human point of view, which seems hopeless and makes us angry and mad. And why is it happening to me and I don't deserve it? This is Christ coming in you. Christ will no longer hide in the secret places of our human mind and consciousness. For Jesus, sorry, I'm going to say this, has stood at the door and knocked on your door, and you opened your door. Little did you know what you were doing when you came out from among them. When you came out from your religions, when you came out from caring enough about your families and you started being true to yourself and you got into this, you have no idea what you opened your door to. Kathy, you had, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, when you were talking about the body, someone once told me your body will never lie to you. And that's always stuck in my head. So I know when something's wrong with my body, it's trying to tell me something.
And there's a great book on that, The Body Never Lies, by Dr. Diamond. It's a great book. The body does not lie. That's why kinesiology is powerful. Don't dismiss kinesiology and muscle testing, because the body will tell you the truth when your head won't. So sometimes doing that is, I know some people make fun of it, but I do think there is a real use of kinesiology and body muscle testing is very important in that way. Wow, where are we? What are we doing? So anyway, I want you to get this awareness thing. Do you realize how much we've been made aware of? Even though we're not seeing it, we're aware of it. You know how many people you know that's not aware? Have no idea what's going on in the world. Oh my goodness. We do. But when I hope you understand me when I kind of get on you a little bit about not knowing something, because what I'm testing to see what's made it into your consciousness. There's certain things I could have asked you that you could immediately just answered me because it's so imprinted into your mind and consciousness that you wouldn't have to think about reacting to me. But I'm trying to make us self-thinkers and think about, okay, what does that mean to me that this thing is in the range of the environment of my body, and my body is starting to react to this new information that is coming in and creating a new blueprint in my etheric body, and therefore affecting the etheric epigenetics of my body, which will eventually change my whole cellular ancestral DNA. Oh my goodness, what's going on is amazing. I wish I could just live in this place I'm in right now. I'm working on it. The Bible says we shall come in and come out, come in and go, come out, and then it says we shall come in and not go out. I want to come in and not go out. But right now I need to be out here so we can go through this together. And you that know me very well know I come in and out. And when I'm out, I'm pretty sad. Kind of pathetic. But when I'm in, I'm in. Are you with me? Wow. So, trying to build a new body here. So let's see how far we can get into this. I think we got willingness, responsibility, acceptance, and release is the 4 energy points that we are looking at to run everything through to see. The statement has been made throughout the course that the challenges are golden opportunities, accidents, disease, social habit, or whatever the challenge may be. It's only the vehicle for materialization. Being aware of the condition or situation is a golden opportunity. You ought to underline that one. You ought to underline that one. To be aware is a golden opportunity. To be aware, to draw from that state of awareness in your mind that is different from what is happening. I know this is what's happening, but I'm aware that this is spiritually what's taking place. And feed that part, not the part of appearance. Because like myself, I want to run and find somebody to magically help me and change me. And when I do that, I'm knocked out consciously and I'm reactive mode based on the memory bank of 3D. Willingness is the first point of the energy. I'm in the 3rd paragraph. Willingness is the first point of the energy on the wheel of energy in order to start the process of changing our physical body, correcting a situation, or dissolving a problem. In this case, we'll keep that. We must be willing to examine the disorder in the moment of the present. Now, here's the moment of the moment now. Now we're not in the atom, we're in the moment. So you can't say, as soon as I get home, I'm going to take care of this. When I get home, I'm going to meditate and I'm going to do this. No. It's important that you meet things in the moment in which it happens. That is when you have more power. Now, to do that, and this is something that is a thread of teaching here, is the whole, this power of, when they discovered that a particle and a wave were not 2 separate things, changed everything. Because up to then, they saw a particle and they saw a wave. Then they found out actually the particle was the wave being observed. That there was no particle, that everything are waves, sound waves. Everything that's going on here is a wave. Everything going through your house is a wave. Is a wave. And then they noticed when they observed it, the observation itself changed it into a particle. So we must be willing to examine the disorder in the moment of the present. Okay, this happened to me. Shift in the moment and say, okay, but I'm aware of something different that's going on here than appears to be. And that's when you start reshaping the patterns of your consciousness, is in that moment. If you can grab it in the moment in which it is happening, you can change its pattern to a different pattern in the etheric body. It doesn't mean that we have to believe it or not. And I love this. He's not really big into, okay, let's put a whole lot of the mental into this. And the fact is because truth or reality is not really based on sometimes what you believe or don't believe. Truth is just truth. I don't care if you believe it or don't believe it. Am I right about that? Yes. It's not what you believe. It doesn't make anything truth. Truth is always truth. Right? So it doesn't mean that we have to believe or not believe it, or that we have to understand it. There's a big one. Oh my God, I didn't understand it. It meant nothing to me. You don't have to understand it. You don't have to analyze it. To examine it, all we have to do, here it is to be willing to look at it in the moment of the present. In the moment of the present. No matter how much we think we know, how much something has been documented, or how things appear to be, we cannot change, correct, or dissolve any condition or situation in the physical body or alter lifestyle unless we are what? Willing. Remember how powerful that little word is in A Course in Miracles? Give me a little willingness, and I shall do the rest. Willing to what? Examine, observe. Something new. Now here's the point in how you expand your consciousness. If you can come up with some new way in which to think of something that you've never thought of before, something new that is contrary to what we've been taught. The reason is because we have to change the ongoing consciousness that is imaging our current consciousness, conditions, situations, and lifestyle. It has to be something new and contrary to what we've been taught, because what we have been taught, if what we've been taught would work, then we wouldn't have to make the changes or corrections. So, wow, that's a moment to think about all the stuff we've studied and learned and everything, and look kind of like where we are with it. Like, whoops, that's too big of a gap between all the stuff I know. I mean, some of us love to get together and just talk, and we're good. And I love that. I mean, I love Sandra and I's 2-hour, 3-hour lunches sometimes. Where we just talk and share wonderful spiritual things like that. There's nothing wrong. We all love those times that we can share. And sometimes in those talks, something shows up that neither one of us would have thought about. Oh my God, in the moment I grab it. And I'm willing to put it into my collective thinking system. And now I'm going to think just a little differently about that situation. And that's why it's important to have those in your life that are like-minded and that you have a soul connection with. And I do believe that people are finding those people more and more right now than ever before, who have been together in past lives and other times. I think it's no accident. This is why I do not believe that we could put on any kind of program to try to get people into HeartLight just so we can have more bodies in the chair. I do not think that is going to work for us. And it's not that I don't want that. I would love to see this thing packed out with people, but the right people. There's no use start bringing in consciousness that has no match here at all. And the thing is, there's so many places where they need to be that can meet their need. That's why we embrace and we're inclusive and recognize that all religions and all spiritual schools of thought, there's a place for everybody, and that's where they should be. Yes, Terry.
I like the scripture that says, my sheep will know my voice.
My sheep shall know my voice, they shall follow another. That's right. And when you come in here, you'll either hear the voice or you won't. You got it. You got it. Oh, my time's about gone, and I still haven't got to the 3 other things. Oh, surprise. I know you're surprised. The energy of willingness is also used in turning everything in our life over to the Christ self. We must be willing to turn all of our decisions, get this, desires, wants, and needs over to the Christ self in order to establish an ongoing consciousness to sustain the changes we want to make. The go-between body, I really like that. What's the go-between body? The etheric body. I don't know what he says, but I'm telling you that's what it is in my teachings. The go-between body can then hold the consciousness for us until, here we go, I love this, until we can complete the process. Do you realize how much your etheric body is holding that you've been taught here, and if you're willing to be aware of it, is all contained in the energy patterns of your etheric body right now. You've already got it etherically. It's already happened through your willingness to receive it into your go-between body. And that's called the becoming body. The etheric is where things in spirit uses to become physical. And that's why the teacher Jesus came along and said, I am the mediator between God and man. That was the Christ in him, saying that I am the go-between body between the divine and the human. Please don't throw that out. It's so important. If you get rid of your go-between, you're in a lot of trouble. Because all you're going to do is stand at the edge and look over the troubled waters without a bridge to cross. For us, until we can complete the process and start bringing about the physical changes, the higher vibratory frequency in the intelligence of understanding, this simple process transmutes the relative thought patterns, there it is, the thought patterns of the belief system, and transforms their intelligence into the what? Causal body. Oh, you've got to get things in the causal body so they'll cause the materialization to begin. That's why we call God sometimes first cause. That's another title or name for it, the first cause, which sustains the desired changes and makes them permanent because the transformed intelligence, get this, never leaves the life stream. The life stream to him is your past lives stories. When he says life stream, he's talking about everything that you've ever been, and where all of that is recorded in your Akashic records. Every story, every experience, everything is all energetically written in the part of the soul that we refer to as our personal Akashic. Now, there is a collective Akashic, but there is a personal Akashic part of your soul that holds your incarnations energetically. Now I'm going to say this and I have to quit. This is why there is ways in which to change your past. Every abuse, mental, sexual, physical, that you've ever gone through can completely be changed, because if you go into the Akashic records, you can change every past thing that is in there that is in any way vibrating into your present life, causing you to feel bad about yourself or fear or not trust somebody or don't want to love somebody, and all of the emotional baggage that we all carry that we don't need to be carrying whatsoever. How are we going to run this race unless we get rid of the weights that has us so easily beset? That's scripture, by the way. How are you going to run the race, receive the prize, unless you cast away the weights that have you so easily beset? And a lot of those weights are back there somewhere in your story, somewhere written in your Akashic records. But I'm telling you, I'm getting ready, I don't know how it's going to happen, to do more teachings and workshops here on how to rewrite the code. We're going to rewrite our story. We're not going to be the product of a story that in any way is not the story of our creation. You are not doomed by your past. You are not imprisoned by your past. Get over it, David. I won't put that on you, but I'm telling me. Well, this happened when I was 12 years old, and that guy next door did what he did. It was a horrible thing, and and blah, 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 blah. And I got stuff in my story that was a terrible thing to happen to somebody, a child, and whatever. I'm sure you do too. But you don't have to be the product of it. We're going to change your Akashic records, and we're going to get rid of your past. And that's what it's going to be when it means I take away the sin of the world and you are reborn in this moment. Let us pray. My goodness. Is the Spirit with us or what? Something has shown up here at HeartLight. Something is inhabiting this land. Not just this building, but this land. The land is speaking. The trees are speaking to me. Jackie's garden is speaking to me when I walk by it. That 109-year-old house over there is speaking to me when I walk in it. Spirit. I don't even know what to say. I feel that any words I could say are inadequate to the presence and the experience that I feel here today and have felt last Wednesday and Sunday and the week before, whenever this happened, that something has shown up. And we're just going to let it have its way. Oh, it may upset some people. I don't know what it's going to do, but we're going to go with the Spirit. I choose this day in whom I will serve. Just take a moment and let the Spirit minister to you where you are, what you need today. Where are you? Is there room in your inn for Christ to be born in this moment? In that physical situation, in that diagnosis that you got, in that situation with your loved one, the problem with your kids and whatever. Can you let Christ be born because there's room in the inn of your being? Christ won't be born in the high palaces of your higher atmosphere. He'll go down there where the animals are in the stable of your humanity. In the animal part of us, the human. Follow the star. Look to the east. There's a star that's coming to guide us to be in the right place at the right time. Be aware in this moment of all that we know and we've talked about here today. Be aware that life is greater than death, and love than fear, and peace than warrings and hatred and prejudice. Oneness is greater. Unity is greater. It's greater. And I'm going to feed that by being aware of it no matter what I see. When it looks like everything's getting worse and worse and worse, I'm aware that it's not. I'm aware that it's only changing its pattern. So as we close today, I want to remind you that this is the winter solstice, the 21st. It is the longest night of the year, and it is the time in which the ancients saw it as the rebirth of a new dimension in your life. Receive it today. The night may be long, but it's the darkest before the rising of a new day and a new age. We ask the blessings of the Most High, possessor of heaven and earth and of the divine order of Melchizedek, of an endless life, without mother, without father, without beginning or ending of days. To be upon HeartLight and all of those who are connected spiritually and vibrationally to this community, to be ministered to and blessed today. Let us not forget ourselves in this time of this man-made Christmas holiday, but even celebrating with our friends and families, that we do not lose our center to know what's really happening. That Christ has found a place in the inn to birth itself in us, through us, and as us. And we all say, and so it is. Ooh, okay, we're over a little bit, 5 minutes. Thank you for you that are with us. If you're still staying with us, thank you. Thank you for your continued support. So I want you to agree with me for a miracle, because we are only half of our budget. That's the biggest challenge we've yet faced in the years that I've been here. But I'm willing to look at it differently. I'm willing to look at it as it's only a part of the infinite, inexhaustible source of all things. I don't know how it's going to come. Maybe some of you who have been blessed beyond a little bit want to bless a little bit more this particular week. That'd be great. Or you that are with us online. But we are willing to trust and to know that all things work together for the highest and best good. But I can't tell you a better time to support HeartLight than now. I feel that this now that we're entering into, this moment we're entering into, it is so important that we keep our space and keep ourselves from the trappings of 3D limited thinking. And keep ourselves willing to stay with the prosperity. For as your soul is prosperous, so shall you prosper. And our soul is prospering really fast here. So that means the prospering should show up to match the soul prosper. All right, thank you so much for coming today. Thank you for your offerings. I assume everybody has done their support. You that are leaving town, please be careful, enjoy yourselves. And the rest of you, hope to see you Sunday. Remember that the continental breakfast will be at 10 o'clock. Come and be a part of that. And then Greg will be his final time with us for a while, and see what he has planned. I'm sure it's something creative and wonderful. So please be here. Thank you. Have a great day.